Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah, Kwadash. Double honor unto my apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Okay, just another article. This article is from Apple.com, dated November 12th, 2025. Apple introduces digital ID, a new way to create and present an ID in Apple Wallet. Digital ID offers a secure and private way for users to create an ID in Apple Wallet using information from their U.S. passport and present their ID with iPhone or Apple Watch. Apple today announced the launch of Digital ID, a new way for users to create an ID in Apple Wallet using information from their U.S. passport and present it with the security and privacy of iPhone or Apple Watch. At launch, Digital ID acceptance will roll out first in beta at TSA checkpoints at more than 250 airports in the U.S. for in-person identity verification during domestic travel, with additional Digital ID acceptance use cases to come in the future. Right. So, they are bringing out the Digital ID. All right. The day I'm talking about is the government. Okay. All right. They're bringing out the Digital ID. All right. Just like you have several other countries introducing the Digital ID, which is a new, like it says, a new way to provide your information, digitally, your passport. All right. It's going to be used for travel. Okay. This is the prelude to, the RFID chip implant. Okay. That's what this is, man. All right. So, these prophecies is coming to pass. The prophecies found in the scriptures. Okay. So, with that being said, I'm going to go right into the scriptures. Okay. So we're going to get the book of Psalms. Psalms 37, verse 12, it says, "The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth." Right, because this is gradualism, at its finest, okay? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, what they do is they gradually introduce their agendas, man, okay? We know what happened in 2020 with the that they mandated everybody to take in order to continue to work and travel. Well, this is the next step. All right. This is the next step. A level up from that. Okay. Now they're introducing Digital ID. All right. So now what they're doing is they're exercising gradualism, man. Working on the subconscious mind to gradually prepare you to accept the transhumanism, man. Okay. To accept the New World Order. Okay. Having a chip implanted, in the skin. Okay. So, it's only a matter of time before they mandate it, man. We thought that, which they still might do, us here at Great Millstone, we thought that they were going to bring back the food stamps with the Digital ID, which they still might do in a later time. Because as you've seen in the article, it said with additional Digital ID acceptance use cases to come in the future. Okay, so, in the near future, this might be, required to receive, certain benefits. Okay, i.e. Section 8, EBT, and so forth and so on, man. Social Security, right? I've heard many different podcasters and news reporters and whistleblowers say that we're trying to follow China with their system. They have a social I forgot what the term is. I think a social credit score. Okay. They have everybody. All the Chinese citizens have a digital ID, and all of their information comes up: their social credit score, their backgrounds, their rap sheet, their driver's license, their all of their information pops up. Okay, and they have a low social credit score. They're treated less than somebody with a high credit score. Okay. So 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, but we are not ignorant of his devices. Right. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. Satan is who? The adversary, all right? The adversary today is you Edomites, okay? The adversary to the Most High, Yahweh Shai, and the true children of Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, we are not ignorant of his devices. Why? Because we're in this knowledge, man, this truth. All right, the prophecies. Okay, we know all things, pertaining to prophecy and what matters in the world. Okay, we know who the other nations are. Okay, we know that Esau, Edom is the sons of the wicked. We know that they're the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Okay, and we know that they're in the power seat. Okay, and we know they have an agenda to ultimately, destroy majority of the population, beginning with the children of Israel. Okay, but also be like the Most High, man. All right, and I think I'm gonna end it with that in Ezekiel the 28th chapter. Okay, this is Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 1. It says, the word of the Lord came to me saying, came again unto me saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, and in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of the power. That's Esau. That's what Esau is doing today. All right, we could apply this to Esau today, and that's what we do. Because Esau, like we always say, he has a God complex. All right, he wants to be God. Okay, he's been given the authority, the power seat. All right, the fatness of the earth. He's living in his blessing right now that Isaac blessed him with. All right, he's dwelling in the fatness of the earth, and he's living by his sword. Okay, because that was his blessing, the sword. Okay, and it has gotten to his head, man. They're lifted up with pride. Okay, they're lifted up with pride because they've been empowered, and they have more than heart could wish, and they're not in trouble like other men. All right, and their heart is fully set in them to do evil, like it says in Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter. Okay, but that's all right, because this is the Most High's movie, and the Most High is raising you up. All right, to knock you down, man. Okay, the Most High is raising you up to bring you down. Right, just like he did other kings of other nations. All right, primarily Pharaoh. Pharaoh was lifted up with pride. All right, and what happened? The Most High destroyed his ass. All right. It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. Yet a so-called white man, through his technology, which is witchcraft, that he got through, worshiping Satan and, dealing with them demons. Okay. There is no secret that they can hide from him, man. Okay. He knows, that's why they call themselves the Illuminati, because they have the knowledge. All right. And the main, truth that they have, they keep it secret. They know that the children of Israel are you so-called blacks, you Negroes, you so-called Hispanics, and you so-called Native Americans, man. Okay. But this man, he has surveillance all around the world. All right. Cameras all around the world. All right. Satellites in outer space. Okay. You name it. All right. This man, like they had the term in the book 1984, Big Brother is watching you. All right. Yeah. And that's a spirit, because Esau, he's always watching, man. They have I believe the NSA. They can, go through your phone and access anything they want. Okay. So, there is no secret that can be hid from the so-called white man. All right. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasuries. Okay. So yeah, that was the point. Okay, our low endless lesson was edifying, and with that I'm gonna say shalom.